Okay, audio's on now. Audio is on. Hey. Yeah.
Good morning, everybody. I am looking for the Louisville Market Center. Are they in Southern Indiana today? I see Southern Indiana. They're not in Southern Indiana. Hello, Kelly Wyatt.
Hello. They're not here today, but I can text them.
Yes, let's make sure they have their link. It is 11 o'clock and it is time to get started. So we are going to get started. Let's get Louisville in and then we have the amazing Dianna Kokoszka today, you guys. I'm so excited and grateful and honored to have her. And she's offered to give us all of the time. So I literally have 2 quick slides, and then we're gonna let her lead this call because it's such an opportunity and honor to have her here. So I want to make sure you guys get the most value and the most time with Dianna today. Okay, Louisville's here. They are here. Great. I think Louisville might be Lisa Dawson. All right, guys. Very quickly, can everybody hear me okay? We good? Awesome. I'm seeing thumbs up. Good to go. Okay, I'm going to go real quick. I wanted to kick off our meeting this week to just share with you guys, if you are not aware, you are now. We have received now over $40,000 in grants from KW Cares in about the last 18 to 24 months. And that is a really big deal. That's touched the lives and hearts of the actual agents in our market centers. Our goal, and we're working on this diligently, our goal is to have 100% of our agents giving something, at least $5 or more, in every single transaction that we close in our market centers. And we are not there yet that is our goal. And I wanted to make sure that you guys know when you give, it actually impacts our local agents on a local level. And so wanted to share that. We did receive a grant within the last week or so for $20,000 for one of our agents. And so it's just a huge deal. And it made a big impact in their life. So, okay. And then the next thing I wanted to share, if you guys did not see this, this is a big one. You guys have an opportunity to bring a guest to family reunion with you. We can absolutely get a guest ticket at any production level to attend family reunion with us. So if you're attending, bring 2 or 3 agents along with you. They need to be licensed. And they need to be licensed somewhere at a competing brokerage or at an office outside the market. This is an opportunity for you to bring them along, for them to experience the value of this event, and then also have an opportunity to make an impact through that invite on them. So your team leaders are ready to connect with these folks and get them signed up. We did award 4 family reunion guest tickets in the last week, and we would love to see every agent in our market center bring 2 or 3 people along with them. So it's in Atlanta. You guys can drive down, you can fly down on a direct flight, but we have a big goal to fill this space with you guys and your guests, okay? So I want to make sure you guys know you have space to invite people. Okay? That is all I have, you guys. So we have Dianna Kokoszka on the call. I have the opportunity to be a part of Dianna's Inner Circle. This is a coaching program she partners with John Maxwell on, and it's a group of high-level people in all areas of business. But part of that is Dianna pours into us, and John Maxwell pours into us, and she's offered as a partner in that to pour into you guys. So Dianna, we've got lots of new people in our world. We have people here that have been impacted by you in a great way, but I would love for you to just take it away, share your heart. And as you and I talked about, our goal is to help everyone think bigger and understand that they have limitless possibilities.
Yeah, they really do. And that's the part I love the most is our our brain, the way that it works, always loves the negative. I don't know why. I wish it was different. Yet it will always be telling you what's incorrect, right? And how you can't do something. In fact, I say there's four storytellers that end up in your brain. First one is the negative one, and it's always telling you something bad. It's the devious storyteller. And so when KW Cares comes along and they're asking for money, that storyteller is going to say, no, 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 you shouldn't give, you shouldn't give. Yet, here's what I found interesting. If you have a chance, listen to my TED Talk, because all of the health benefits that you get from giving, and this is research that I did. And so I really want to make certain, it was Michael Norton from Harvard that said, when you give, you actually receive endorphins into your system that makes you healthier. That people that give live up to 15 years longer than those that just hold everything into themselves. And so listen to the research, might make you think a little bit different. And as far as helping other agents, most of the time it's like, hey, I got to go just to help myself, right? And these are maybe my competitors if we look at it that way. Yet there really are collaborators. Are we collaborating? I just got off a call. I have 8:30 Central Time, 9:30 your time, free Q&A. And we have 313 people, is it now, that are literally registered. They're getting on this call. This morning, we went through some scripts and dialogues. Yet I asked them a question. I said, what story are you writing with your calendar right now that if a stranger, if I walked in to your market center and I said, show me your calendar for the last 2 weeks, would say, wow, you are in real estate. You are a productive agent. And so as I thought about that question for them and for you, thought, what could I help with today? Because see, I used to say mindset was 90% of your business. And now research shows it's 95% of your business. And so I'm always wondering, what is it about people that they do not wish to know their mindset? And so for the last 2 years, I've worked with doctors and Nicole, a great technician on my team, and we came up with the 14mindsets.com. This is where you can go in and actually, in 15 to 20 minutes, know what percentage of the 7 mindsets that liberate you and what percentage of the 7 mindsets that limit you do you have. And are you interested in a plan, a daily step-by-step plan to improve? Because I've got to tell you, a lot of agents that I'm speaking with, a lot of agents that are coming to me asking for help, they're in scarcity. And it's not just agents. It's a lot of folks, right? In our inner circle, as Tara said, that Tara Smith, Tara Allen and Tara Smith. You two, I love you both. And
You're on with Tara.
I'm just going, oh my gosh, which one am I on with today? Because I did calls for both of them. And I just love these two women, great, great leaders. And you are blessed, absolutely blessed to have them. And as I'm on these calls, I'm talking with the people in the inner circle. A lot of people, they think abundantly. They think they are abundant thinkers. And then when it comes to like spending money on something, oh, no, 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 I don't need that education. And they let their checkbook do their thinking for them, which actually means you're in scarcity. When you allow your brain to do your thinking, what's going to be the return on investment? What's going to come back to me? And who better to invest in than yourself with family reunion? And invest in others, because they'll thank you. You'll build your profit share tree. And believe me, when you get to my age, profit share is really even better because we've got to have different buckets of income. If your only income is real estate, oh, you may get rich. And I don't think you'll ever get rich selling it. You will get rich owning it. Are you doing investments? That's another bucket. I learned that you should have a minimum of 7 buckets. And many of the people that I'm around have like 17 buckets that they have income coming in. And the best part of that income is that it's residual. It just keeps coming back in over and over and over again. It's called mailbox money. So those are 2 things. Yet, as I thought about your mindset, you can go to 14mindsets.com and actually find out. Yet, what is it about your schedule? Because that's where your mindset really shows up. And every morning you have 2 choices. You either get to repeat yesterday or you rewrite your future. So many people, they fall into the trap of rushing, reacting, and drifting without purpose. And what if the first 10 minutes of your day could rewire your entire future? Think about that. Because this one morning decision holds the power to change your mindset, shape your identity, and dictate what is going to happen in your success. Why? Because the way you begin is the way you become. And by mastering that simple, intentional ritual, you're going to prepare your mind to lead, not to follow. Because, see, your future starts the moment you open your eyes. And in a few moments, I'm going to teach you how to actually command your morning and completely reshape the course of your life if that's what you desire. Because, see, the morning is a mirror. And if I could follow you for one morning, if I could follow you for even 30 minutes in the morning, I could actually predict your future. Not because I'm so smart, it's because your morning is a mirror for your entire life. It reflects your discipline, your direction, your desires. So I've got to ask you, are you literally rising in reaction? Are you waking up to alarms and to demands? Is the first thing that you do is you check your phone to see if you have any texts and you check your email and you let the world control you? Are you letting the world knock on your door before you knock on the door of opportunity? Because see, I've watched a lot of winners and winners rise with intention. Think about this. Every great structure stands on a foundation. And your foundation is your morning. What you do before the world sees you determines how the world will treat you. And the first hour that you wake up is not a time, it's a statement. You might want to write that down. The first hour of my day is not a time, it's a statement. It says I'm in control or I am controlled. When you step out of bed, you've got to step into purpose. What is your purpose? Did you write it down the night before? Because see, our brains are so powerful. If you write down the 5 things that you are going to do tomorrow, prioritize them. Your brain will figure out when you can do it, how you'll get it done. It will work all night for you to step into purpose of your morning. We've got to learn how to reject the noise. No news. You don't have to hear what's happening with friends and that in the morning. You just need clarity and focus and that voice inside you that says, we are not here to survive. We are here to conquer. Because when we say drifting is for other people, snoozing is for other people, because the moment we hesitate, we hand our power over to fear. And that's where I see a lot of people. They're in anxiety, they're in stress, they're in fear. And that's allowing the day to own you. Yet when you rise with fire, when you speak your goals out loud, do you have them written and you say them every single day? in the morning, when you write them down in the morning, when you take one small step forward, you take command. And that command, it's going to become your compass. It's going to help you determine what's true north. And a lot of people go, Dianna, I don't want to work all the time. I'm not asking you to. I'm asking you to start your morning, because everything is going to be determined in your morning time, your morning routine. It is the compass for your life. And many people have a to-do list, yet do you have a to-be list? Do you know who it is that you desire to become? Because the morning doesn't give you power, it reveals it. If you use it correctly, it's going to multiply that power. You'll become unshakable. You'll become unstoppable. And it's not because of what you do occasionally. It's because what you do first and consistently. See, your thoughts are the soil that you're going to plant those seeds of thoughts in. And your focus is the water. And your actions, well, that's the sunlight. If you give your mind these three things every single morning, your life will, it'll bear fruit beyond measure. So I just want to ask you, who do you want to become? Who is it that you desire to become? Maybe a top agent. That's a good thing for realtors to want to be. I want to be a top agent. You know, Jim Rohn, who was a great philosopher, I had an opportunity. This was when I was first starting real estate. And I had an opportunity to drive him to a venue where he was going to be speaking. And as we were riding along, I was going to actually introduce him. And I was so excited because he was somebody, he was a mentor of mine. He didn't know it. I just listened to anything I could get my hands on. Back in those days, it was tapes, right? And the tapes, yes, they were little things that circled around and you listened to them. Now it's podcasts and everything else. And as I listened to him in that car that day, we were talking about personal growth. And of course, Jim said, Dianna, set a goal to make $1 million, to become a millionaire. Now, this is back in 1980, right? Where it was like 1978, maybe it was, that was the year. Many of you weren't even born then. He said to become a millionaire, make $1 million. And my mind was going like, what are you talking about? $1 million? That would be like 3.8 million today, just so you kind of get the drift. And I thought, oh my goodness, I can't tell this guy. I just started real estate and I can't even afford a babysitter. And I put my kids in a red wagon going door to door with kids in tow. I mean, he's talking about being a millionaire. Now, he then followed up with something that grabbed my heart. It grabbed my heart so much. He said, don't set the goal to make $1 million for the money. Set the goal to make $1 million for who you will become. Who you will become to help other people. Well, now he's talking my language because my goal, my purpose, I believe in life is to add value and to help make a difference in people's lives. That's why I wrote bold. I mean, way back in the day when businesses were closing down, real estate companies were closing their doors, hundreds of thousands of agents were getting out of the business. We know what we did in bold, and it was mostly around mindset and 14.7 transactions. Now, when I say transactions, I mean pieces of business, buyer contract signed, listing contract signed, closing taking place, a sale being made, 14.7 in 7 weeks, while other people were doing nothing. See, I know what it takes, and it takes of who you are becoming. Most people think it's all about sales. It's all about the money. No, it's all about what's up here, because that's where the market lives. It lives in your mind. Everything starts in your mind. So when you ask yourself, who is it that I desire to become? Then start becoming that person before breakfast. The decision to do one tough thing, one challenging thing every single morning creates just a powerful shift in your mind to where you command the day. You command what's going to happen in your life. Do something you don't want to do. Maybe you don't want to exercise. Go exercise. Do the cold plunge. I don't care whatever it is, but something that your mind actually resists a little bit. And if you do a cold plunge, make sure it's good with your doctor. Don't just go do it because I said that. See, once you do something that you're resisting, your mind loses that grip of resistance. It actually starts becoming comfortable being uncomfortable. And that's the secret weapon of all high achievers. See, they don't wait for motivation, they create it. And how do they create it? By taking action when they don't feel like taking action. Your mind is a muscle. And if you train it to surrender, it's going to surrender to comfort. It will abandon you in crisis. And if you train it to obey strength, oh my goodness, it's going to become your strongest ally. So, what is one challenging thing that you can do every single morning? What is happening out there in your world? Are you willing to pick up the phone and call someone? Are you willing to talk with people? Now, I know a lot of people text, a lot of people do social media. I think it's fabulous. I think you need to be doing it all, for heaven's sakes. Yet, what is the return? If it's only likes, oh, I love your post. If you're not getting any business out of it, then that's great. If that's your goal is to get likes and loves, I just have never been able to buy anything with that. So I do like to have a return on my investment of time, on my investment of money. And today on the Tuesday call where I told you that we were on, it's free, and the agents ask questions. Great questions. One of the brand new agents, he's been in for about a month. He said, what's the number one thing I should do every day? I said, lead generate. And when he said, well, what would you do to lead generate? Do you know in today's world, there are more lonely people than there has ever been? They're saying communication is at its worst. And I'm going, why? There are so many ways to communicate, more so than when I was young. We have text, we have social media, we have emails, we have Snapchat, we have all these different things to communicate with. Yet we're lonely because, see, we need human connection. If a baby isn't touched, it actually dies. And I'm not talking about going around hugging each other, even though that's good, because 8 hugs a day just to maintain 12 to actually grow. I think we're missing that human connection, even voice to voice. Think about your database. Maybe you don't want to call them, have them call you. Jason and Laura Burns are 2 agents that are in the inner circle. I love them to pieces, as I do all the people there. And they did a reverse bold, reverse 100 is what I call it, a reverse bold 100, where they wanted 100 people to call them. And they started doing this about 8 years ago. And their first year, what they do is they say, we're going to be giving, and they have X amount of dollars, and they give a portion of what they make. They put it in a fund, and they give that money to various charities. And they divide it up. Now, they do give a lot. They're very giving people. So they have 10 charities that they give to, and the people get to call in and say what charity they would like to have the money go to if their name is drawn out of the big pot that all the people that call in. Now, I want you just to think for just a minute, how many do you think this year called in? If you wrote down 1,000, you are way out of line. It was 13,000 people plus. Called them, talked to them. They had an opportunity to literally ask them for business, ask them for referrals. They didn't call them. 13,000 people. And they couldn't call and leave a voicemail. They had to actually talk to somebody to take the information down. And then they have a they do a client party, which I believe everyone should do a client party. And you go, oh, I don't have the money. There's that scarcity thinking again. Don't think about why you can't do it. Think about how you can do it. Because see, I can afford a babysitter. Put my kids in a little red wagon, went door to door. Figure out how you're going to do it instead of how you can't. Quit being the victim of your life and start being the hero, because every one of you can be. And that's what I love about this. I am so much taking a stand for agents' greatness while they're so busy standing for their limitations. Think about what you can do. Maybe it's call 3 people today and that's all you can do. God bless you. That's fabulous. And then tomorrow, call 4. Next day, call 5. Pretty soon you'll be calling 20 a day and you'll be getting better and better. Do your role plays. This was something that came up on the Tuesday call this morning. I said, you're spending a lot on your education, because every time you go out for a listing and you don't take it, you just spent whatever that commission would have been on your education. Some people are spending $30,000-$40,000 every week going out on a listing presentation, not getting it. And yet they won't spend $3,000 to go do something great, to learn something great. So be careful who you're listening to. Be careful who you're surrounding yourself with. One thing that my dad said, Diana, figure out the 100 people that you want to get to know. 100 successful people, not just in the endeavor that you go into, because at that point I wasn't in real estate. And I made it a point to hang out with people like Zig Ziglar, who has passed on, I know. But John Maxwell, for 29 years, he's been my mentor. Patrick Lencioni, great people. Ed Milet. I mean, sitting in a room, having dinner with these people, asking great questions. You got to be prepared with the questions. Who are you going to dinner with? Who are you spending time with? Who are you learning from? In the mentorship group, these are all very highly successful people. And one lady said, I don't know if I can afford it. I really desire it, though. I said, if you desire it, you'll figure it out. Go sell something if you want to. She did, and she's in it. And she's telling me every call, oh my goodness, this is so great. And last call I implemented this, and this is how much it made. She's already getting a return on her investment. So 1, be careful what you invest in. 2, be careful who you spend time with. And do you know scripts and dialogues? See, I went to a great concert last night. It was for King and Country. Joel and Luke Smallbone, who, if you've watched the movie, The Unsung Hero, they're the 2 brothers, and now they're grown up. Luke has kids of his own, and it was very interesting. They sang songs, and you know what? They knew the words. And we knew some of the words to some of the songs that they sang. In fact, sometimes we sang along with them. They asked the whole audience to sing, and the whole audience knew the song. They knew the words. They get paid a lot of money to do that. Julia Roberts, George Clooney, they get paid a lot of money to do a movie. Tom Hanks. I mean, they get paid a lot of millions of dollars. They know their scripts. When Tony and I, this was before we were married, and we were in mastermind groups together, and he was always calling. And one day he called and asked me out on a date. And being a single parent, I was busy taking care of my kids, selling real estate, running a business as you are. And I said, well, I don't go to dinner on first dates. I'll go to breakfast, because if I'm not having a good time, I'd say, oh, I have an appointment and I can get out of there, right? Whereas if it's dinner and I say I've got an appointment, they kind of wonder what kind of job I got. And so here we are at breakfast. I'm thinking he's really liking me. So at one point he goes, would you be offended if I brought my tape recorder out and we practiced scripts and dialogues? Because you have the best scripts I've ever heard in my life. I thought, oh my gosh, I thought he was interested in me and he's only interested in my scripts and dialogues. So he brings out a recorder. Now, for those of you who are young, it was about this big and you push the buttons to record and the tape went around, right? And then you had to rewind it and listen to it. And so for an hour, we sat and did scripts and dialogues and he recorded them all. He just objection after objection after objection. We're headed back to the office, and those were the days that you had the old rotary. A dial phone is where you put your finger in and it went click, 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 and you had all the different numbers. He picks up his car phone and said, hello, Tony. And I said, well, I would list with you if you would take it at my price and a lower commission. And he goes, what? I said, oh, you'll never be any good at scripts and dialogues. And I hung up the phone on him. And he calls me back and he goes, what was that? I said, well, you said you wanted to get good at scripts and dialogues. Until you have it so internalized that I could wake you up at 2 a.m. and give you an objection and you could give me that script back that you were going to say, it'll never come across great. Because you've got to feel it. You've got to bring the emotion. You've got to truly mean what you're saying. People can figure things out when you're, oh, what am I going to say? What am I going to say? The energy is really weird. Yet when you're confident, confidence is one of the best energies you will ever have in your life. In my book, I talk about the 4 energies of success. And with those 4 energies, confident is right up there at the top. You show me a confident person, I'll show you somebody that's probably very successful. Now, I'm not talking about an egotistical person. There's a difference between confidence and ego. Confidence is you know where you're going, you know what you're doing, and you care about people. Arrogance and egotism is the fact that, oh yeah, you know what you're doing, you know where you're going. Oh, you got your scripts and dialogues, but it's all about you. Look at how good I am. Let me share with you how good I am. No, I already know. I'm just like you. I'm just like you. God's given me gifts, and I'm going to use those gifts and multiply them. When you say I'm good, you're honoring that gift I was given. You're not honoring me. I'm a person just like you. And every single person out there is just like you. I've always said we put our pants on the same way, one leg at a time. Get over yourself. It's a gift that you've been given, and we need to multiply those gifts. And I really desire that you listen to my TED Talk. And the lady before me talked about her son dying in Iraq. And I'm behind stage crying and going like this so my makeup won't run because they're going to be filming it. And I walk out on that stage and all I want to do is cry because I still am carrying that emotional thing about her son. And she ended with, and this is the mug. This is the mug that he gave me the last time I saw him. And I have coffee out of it every morning. And I'm going, oh my gosh. And then they go, and now Dianna Kokoszka. And I'm going, couldn't we have taken a break? The reason I want you to listen to it is because I truly believe that if you have the ability to create wealth, you have the responsibility to create wealth. Because see, I was sitting at my kitchen table when my son Shane called. He called in a voice I'll never forget, and that's what I talk about on TED. His wife Renee was dying of cancer. Called me that day, needed a cashier's check by tomorrow for $35,000. Could you do that? I know the energy just shifted. I felt it clear over the wire. Because see, I think we have a responsibility to give. I think we have a responsibility to help. Yet if we're giving to comfort, get outside the comfort zone, because comfort will just abandon you. It will have your resistance abandon you. It will have the grit abandon you. You got to train your brain to strength. You've got to train your brain to be your strongest ally, because here's what the way the brain works. See, if you have a neuron, and I'm not going to get into all the synapses and dendrites and all the things, but here's a neuron. Your thought travels along an axon to another neuron. And before it hits this neuron, it explodes with a chemical. Those chemicals go into your system. But the more you have that thought, the stronger that dendrite gets, or the axon gets. And that axon becomes so strong that you can't think any other way, because your brain loves quick. Your brain loves to go fast. And it's much like you walking through a field or a patch of grass, and you take that path every day. The first time you take the path, it's no big deal. The second time, no big deal. By the time about the 10th, 20th, 100th time, you've got a rut. There's no more grass left. It's the only way people want to walk through that grass. Nerve cells that fire together wire together, and it makes a rut in your brain that is so strong you can't think any other way. You've got to train your brain to a new way of thinking. After all, you've trained it to the way it's thinking right now. And when you start having different thoughts, when you say, cancel, cancel, I don't like that thought, and you think of a new thought, now you're making a new neural pathway. And the greatest thing I ever read in neurology is the fact that nerve cells that no longer fire together no longer wire together, which told me I could train my brain to a new way of thinking. That's what my book, Becoming More, is about. 20 chapters of retraining your brain to the energies of success, to the mindsets of success, to the mindsets of having money, multiplying the money, and being able to give the money. Do you have a giving goal? Tony and I start with a giving goal, and then we add on what we need to live and what the trips that we want to take and the things that we desire to do. And that's the goal for how much money we want to make. Most people say, well, I'll give when I have some money left over. You'll never have any money left over when we think that way. Our brain doesn't think that way. We've got to learn how our brain thinks. Because you know what? When you know how your brain thinks, you know how your buyers and sellers' brain thinks. People say, Dianna, well, the guy, what was his name? Norman, I forget, because there's hundreds of people on this call. And he said, you're known as the Queen of Scripts. And yes, I've been known of that. Yet why? Because I care about people, and I know the way the brain works, and I want to help people understand how their brain works and how their buyers and sellers' brain works. Because once you know that, you'll be the king and queen of scripts and dialogues. Yet, what are you studying? Are you just so in your comfort zone? I'm just asking questions. Take a chill pill if you're getting a little upset. Because see, they did a study on people that were in prison. Did you know that most people that have been in prison for 20 years or more, when they're released, they end up right back in prison? And the people go, oh, well, they didn't change any. No, they did change. Yet their brain was literally trained to what we call the 6-12-6 system. They had breakfast at 6, lunch at noon, dinner at 6, 6-12-6, day after day after day after day for 20 years. What they discovered is, yes, they trained them in success. Yes, they trained them in job skills. Yes, they trained them in a lot of things. And they also trained them to set their calendars for 6-12-6. Oh, they started doing better. See, you've trained your brain to a certain thing that is comfortable. You can keep some of those comfort zones, yet we got to get outside of our comfort zone. There were 3 men, this is a story, and there were 3 men that wanted to help the really good people in prison. And the first one says, well, how's the food in prison? Pretty bad. I've never been to prison yet. I've heard it's pretty bad. So he said, I'm going to give them great food. And he brought in, just for the really good people, steaks and seafood and great salads. And they loved it. It was fabulous. The second guy goes, well, I want to help the really good people in prison. So, how are the beds? They're not really comfortable in those little thin mattresses. So he got him mattresses and comforters and just really great bedding. And they loved it. And the third guy said, what could I give him? He said, I know. I'll give him a key. I'll give him a key to get out early. And some people wouldn't take the key. They were too comfortable. And I think that's how some realtors are living their life right now. My book is a key to training your brain. Scripts are a key to getting the listing. Lead generation is a key to getting the appointments. Lead follow-up is a great key to get appointments. Knowing what to say and making the appointment about your sellers, not about you. Oh, first I do this. Let me show you. I'm on a little iPad. Woohoo. I do all these things for you. You know what? Most people don't even know where their sellers work. I'm going, wow, you're missing out. Because see, when United Airlines laid a lot of people off in Denver, I went to my database and put in United Airlines and called every single one of those people to see how I could help them. Got a lot of listings. Got to help some of them find new work. Didn't get a listing, but I helped them, which they gave me referrals. So are you making the appointment about them, or is it about you? Are you so comfortable in the way you're doing it that you won't record your presentation and have someone else look at it? Do you ever ask the seller why they didn't list with you and why they chose someone else? Oh no, that would be uncomfortable. Yet some of you do that because you desire to get ahead. When you're willing to step outside your comfort zone, even in the morning routine. See, one of the things that I truly believe is that you start your morning with gratitude. And when you start with gratitude, everything in your world changes. It changes so fast. Now, when I say fast, I'm going to ask you to do this for 21 days. And not because 21 days changes your complete habits, because Gary and Jay says 66 days is what it says. I know Cybernetics said 21. That was a long time ago. Things do change. You have more information coming to you today than ever before. Many people are addicted to information and very much allergic to implementation. It's the implementation of this information I'm giving you today that will make you rich, not the information. The information won't do you any good to you, because information without action is like you don't have the information at all. So I trust that I'm saying something today that will take action. And when you do the 5 things that you're grateful for, it changes your brain. And I want to tell you about a study, and I'm not going to show you the brain scans and that, yet I will tell you, oh, you've got them. Nicole's got them up. Okay, so here, I'm going to tell you a study, and I'm going to show you how your brain changes. Now, when I did my book, look, I've looked at over 3,000 brain scans, guys. I have studied the brain since I was in 8th grade because my brother and sister both had brain tumors, and I wanted to help them. I wanted to know how I could help them. And I learned so much that I didn't even know would help me in real estate and have me help agents like you to be better, to do more, to not only be more, do more, to have more, and eventually give more. He brought 30 people together and he asked them to write down things that they were grateful for. And they did for 5 minutes. And then he waited 30 minutes before he did a brain scan. 30 minutes of them talking and doing different things, doing their emails, all the different stuff. And then here's what their brain scan showed. Now, the interesting part to me, as you look at this, everything is lit up. I'm not going to go through the parts of the brain other than at the base. I want you to know that's where your intuition and your creativity live. Look at how that is lit up. This person is so creative, so intuitive. The left side is the logical side. It's all lit up. The right side is the emotional side. It's lit up with happiness and joy. And in the middle, that little thing, that's the amygdala. And it's lit up, which means actions will take place, because logic makes them think and emotion makes them act. And the reason emotion makes them act is because emotion lights up the amygdala. Now, he took those same people back and he said, don't write anything, just think about what ifs. What if your dog died? What if you were diagnosed with a terrible disease? What if you lost a loved one? What if? And then they did brain scans, and here's what showed up. No intuition, no creativity, no logic. Oh, the amygdala is really lit up. It's lit up so much it's flowing over. And the 3 things on the emotional side are fear, stress, and anxiety. And we wonder why we have an anxious society. Because we're so focused on the what if something doesn't go right. We're so focused on the negative that we can't even get to the positive. And gratitude will get you there. So I'm going to ask you, what are you grateful for? What are you willing to do outside your comfort zone? Even giving gratitude might be outside your comfort zone. Maybe sitting in silence. Ooh, that's tough for a lot of people. It was tough for me a long time ago. Yet sitting in silence and thinking of all the things you're grateful for, amazing how much better you feel. Right now, writing every single day because I'm writing another book, that's my uncomfortable zone. Not that I don't like to write, it's just I let everything else get in the way sometimes. Whatever it is that's uncomfortable for you or challenging for you to do, choose it, commit to it. Do it with all your intensity, because it's not about the task. It's about the identity that it builds. Your identity when you do something that's challenging. And every morning we have to remind ourselves who we are. We're a person that doesn't run from pressure. We rise under it. Oh, don't be somebody that snoozes and shrinks. Rise and be sharp. Don't wait, initiate. That's the edge. That is one of the energies that's going to separate you, and it's going to separate your own life. You can have a powerful life or you can have a passive one. And when the first decision of your day is a day of victory, and you claim victory before you step on the battlefield. Bill Gates taught me that. He said, you call out victory and claim victory before you step on the battlefield, and the rest of the day will follow your example. So find the most challenging thing. If it's lead generation, face it, finish it, and watch what the rest of your life begins to do. It will bow down to your courage. You will be able to do so much, and you'll speak life into your future instead of the death by what ifs. Remember, the words that you say today predict your future. What are you saying about the market? What are you saying about your sellers? What are you saying about real estate? What are you saying about yourself? We've got to speak life into our future, because words create worlds. And the first words you speak each morning are not just sounds, they're seeds that you're putting in your brain. So speak out loud of gratitude. Speak out loud of goals. Speak out loud, because that's going to shape your story, and it's going to shape your steps for the rest of the day. Don't wake up and speak defeat. Oh, I'm so tired. I'm so stressed. Oh my gosh, I got all this stuff to do today. Well, life matches your language. Be different. Wake up and be in control. Wake up and shout victory. Declare your strength. I was born for this. I was born to do this. I've got momentum. I can create cells wherever I go. This isn't about pretending, folks. This is about programming. And your brain is like a computer, and you're programming it every single day of your life. How does somebody that can't afford a babysitter, that ends up owning 4 real estate offices, they were for ERA at the time. Keller Williams wasn't even around. Oh, I know what ego's like. I was pretty egotistical, I'm sure, because I was really good back, I did it. Oh, how terrible that was. Pride cometh before the fall is really true. I had a property management division I started. We had 72 houses. My friend needed a job. I said, sure. Gave her the books, gave her the property management division to run. I was having fun. While I was out growing the business, she was quietly siphoning rent checks. Didn't pay the mortgage companies. Oh, made up all sorts of stories for the sellers. It was back in the day when foreclosures were at the highest. And so if you sent a little bit into the mortgage company, they wouldn't foreclose on you. So she would send a few dollars in here and there. Yeah, I ended up 216 house payments I was responsible for because she hadn't paid anything. I was responsible. It was my fault. I couldn't blame her. Did she do wrong? Yes. Yet I did wrong because I didn't watch my money. Oh, I watch it now. I visit it often. I know my net worth. And even if it's in the top, it is in the top 1% of America. The fact of it is, how did I go from there to there? By programming my mind. This is what I want for you. I want for you to have a great life. Do you want it for yourself? Because it's up here that it's going to determine your life. Oh, well, I know the scripts and dialogues that so-and-so uses. Well, that's good. Are they up here? Are they in here? Because that's going to make a difference. There's 5 things you got to do every day. Real estate is so dang simple. People complicate the heck out of it. Every day you lead generate. Every day you lead follow up. Every day you go on appointments and people go, I don't have an appointment. Yeah, you do. Call a friend and go to coffee and talk about real estate. And while you're in the coffee shop, ask other people about it. Gosh, you go to the grocery store, for heaven's sakes, you got to stand in line, do a listing presentation. Who knows? They know somebody. I always talk to people about what they were doing, what they did, what they were interested in. And they always asked me what I did. And that was my go ahead to go in. I help people succeed at their dreams, to get the dream home that they've always desired. Do you know anyone that really wishes and desires either their first home, a better home, or an investment home? I mean, you can ask all different ways. Yet, are you asking? Or are you just expecting people to come to you? Well, that's an entitlement mentality and a mindset. There's 7 that will liberate you and 7 that will limit you. Need to know what those are. My book, Becoming More, You Can't Get to Better Until You Get to Different, will help you understand that. The 14mindsetassessments.com will tell you where you're at. Now, it's up to you. You don't have to buy a book. You don't have to do the assessment. Yet, if you don't know where you're at, I don't know how you're going to get to your destination, okay? Because I know when I do Uber, or like today when I go to the airport, I'm going to be putting in where I'm starting from and where I desire to end up. That's how you do your goals. Then I'm going to end with this so we can take a couple of questions if you have any. here's where you're at, and here's your goal. Most people get caught in that gap trap. And the reason they get caught is they're always looking at the gap. Now, I know Dan Sullivan talks about the gap or the gain, and it's really good. Because if you're caught in that gap, chances are you won't make goal. When you count the gains that you're making plus the gap, now you're making goal. The other thing, though, that no one talks about is this is your conscious mind, and that's how you set your goals, because the conscious mind is the goal setter. The unconscious mind is the goal getter. If that unconscious mind is not in alignment, if your mindset is in the limiting mindsets, you're not making goal. I don't care how hard you work. You'll just keep sabotaging yourself because you have a financial thermostat that you've already set. And people go, well, I'm just going to raise my financial thermostat. Well, you got to raise it through mindsets. Well, I'm going to help everybody think abundantly. Well, you don't even know how they think now. So how can you help them? I wouldn't have a doctor say, I'm going to perform surgery on you. I don't know what's wrong, but I'm just going to cut you open because I think I know what you need. Nobody's that smart. That's why we have to know where we're at. That's why we developed the mindset assessment, because I didn't know how to help people with mindset until I knew where they were at. Oh, I could talk about it. I could give them information. I've even helped them in my book. Yet, if you're already an abundant thinker, why do you do the exercises to think more abundantly? I mean, you got to know where you're at. You got to declare your strength. And today, I just want you to build momentum by programming this thing called your mind. Because your subconscious mind doesn't care if what you're saying is true or not. It believes what you repeat. And when you speak life, your body follows, your habits follow, your destiny follows. So start every single morning with declarations, with affirmations, saying who you are, saying who you are becoming. They have to be positive and in present tense. I am are the two most powerful words that you will ever say. And what follows is predicting your future. So that's what I've got for you today. If somebody has some questions, we've got time for maybe one or two.
That was awesome, Dianna. Okay, we're looking. Who has a question? I see Lindsay coming up to the stage, to this the microphone. Lindsay, do y'all have something?
Well, and if you want to repeat it, or just if there's something that you'd like for me to talk about, I'm here to add value. This call is not about me. I'm doing it for you because you're part of the inner circle. I'm doing it because I love the agents. I love to see realtors. I want them to all be so doggone rich and they're just giving money away. And I mean, after all, real estate is about the economy of the nation. Do you realize we hold the nation in our hands? I think people take that responsibility as much as they should. It's up to us to help the economy. It's a pretty powerful thing that we have to do, right? It's kind of fun. What did Lindsay have for us?
I just want to thank you. I think that was amazing. Everyone that's in here just jaws to the ground. Taking notes was wonderful. So thank you so much for taking the time with us. It was great.
Dianna, she said she wanted to thank you. They took tons of notes. And
I have a question. So
Lindsay, you're a little muffled, so.
Well, and you guys told me that it may be a little challenging. So I put, you know what, but I love challenges. So that's why I did it. I knew it would be uncomfortable. I wanted to demonstrate to you that I actually do what I talk about. You know, that's one of the best compliments I've ever gotten. It's when someone says, oh my goodness, you're actually who you say you are. It's kind of fun.
I think Amy Dixon, you have a question?
You second of all, script queen, this market is really tough and I'm just gonna wait till it gets better. What is your answer to that?
The market.
Provide.
This market is really tough, and I'm going to wait until it gets better. I love that you want to get better. I think that's very, very powerful. And let me ask you, as it gets better, do you think that the prices will go up or down? Now, here's the key, folks. When you say something to a buyer or seller, you tell them what you want them to say. So, do you think the market will go up or down? I'm drawing an arrow up as I say it. And then they generally go, oh, well, based on what you said, what you have there, it will go up. I go, oh, you're right. So you may get more for your home and you'll pay more for the next one. So that gap is actually going to cost you more money. So let me ask you, do you like to spend more money for the same thing or less money for the same thing? What do you think they'll say? Never ask a question you don't know what they're going to say. They're going to want to spend less. Well, that's why I'm here. Because right now, we're going to buy at market price and we're going to sell at market price. And then I would show the difference in figures. And you got to know your money, because how much per thousand is the interest rate? If interest rates go up, how much does it cost them per thousand? If interest rates go down, how much does it cost per thousand? All of these things, that's why I say we study our craft. It's a great question, and it's an objection that a lot of people get. And then you at least get them opening their mind. And once their mind is open, now the logic can go in. And then we come back with the fact of, let me ask you, what would a better home? Why is it important that you have a better home? What will that do for you? Now, here's the key. And everybody, I've never had anybody say, you're asking the same question 3 times. Right? Agents listen and they go, you asked the same question 3 times. I've never had a seller or a buyer say you asked the same question 3 times. Why is that important to you? What will that do for you? And they answer, why is that important to you? And they answer. And I go, what will that do for you? And they answer. And then I say, why is that important to you? And they answer. And I say, ultimately, what will that do for you? Now you've got their emotions, you've got their mind in peak performance, you've got that amygdala lit up. And when that amygdala is lit up, I say, well, I believe you deserve that, and that's why I'm here. Why don't we get that for you? And then you just look at them. I think you deserve it. Let's move forward. You say it with the right energy. You have these. It's about helping them. I never went in to get the listing. I did say this listing is mine if I desire it. It wasn't about the listing. It was about helping them get what they desired. They wouldn't have called you there if they weren't interested. More realtors talk themselves out of a listing than into it because they're so busy talking about themselves instead of, why are you moving? Where are you moving to? How soon do you have to be there? What happens if you don't move? What's important to you about this move? In fact, a lot of the scripts right now, I think, are causing psychological damage. When you walk in, and of course, you get there on time, take a step back. Hey, it's 12 o'clock. We had an appointment at 12 o'clock, and I'm here. And then this is a very important decision you're about to make to list your home with me. And they always said, oh, we're not ready to list it with you yet. Okay, great. That will be my job, to help you understand the market and feel comfortable and confident that when the time is right, I'm the agent for you. May I look at your home through the eyes of a buyer? Because you're not going to be here taking them through it. And then after I go through it, I want you to tell me all about the house. But I just want to see what hits me first, right? I go through their house and I come back and I go, wow, this is really a nice home. Now, you say it if it is, don't lie. Say, this is really nice home. You're in a great school district. Why would you even think about selling? People go, oh, Dianna, I don't want to do that. I might talk them out of it. No, you won't talk them out of it. You'll find their motivation. And motivation is the element to the emotions. Most people go in thinking, oh, they want to sell their home. I'm going to tell them all about how I can sell it. Instead of finding out the true motivation as to why they're selling, because that's why they'll sell. That's why they'll do the listing presentation and listen to it. And that's why they'll sign the contract. If they're a school teacher, you take the same script, but you identify with the school teacher. If they're a police officer, you identify with safety and the police force. If they're too different, you do both. If you don't know anything about them, how do you actually relate to them? Because then the appointment is about you. If I know about you, I asked this morning, what do you feel that the people need? How can I help them? And they didn't say, oh, it's their morning routine. They didn't say that at all. They said, well, your book, Becoming More, on the mindset. And I know if I can get your morning routine right, I'll get your mind right. If you read the book, that's a pretty big if, because a lot of people, I think it's 70% of the people, once they graduate from high school or college, whatever their final schooling is, they never read another book. And I go, well, that's sad. Yet it will help you determine and rewire your brain. So I hope that helped. I took a little bit over. I'm so sorry, because I'd said I'd go till 11, and I know that you all have appointments and things to do. I'm going to challenge you, though. What are you going to do in the next 24 hours? What are you going to do when you wake up tomorrow morning? Because that's going to be the start of the rest of your life. And what would you do in the next 24 hours to set an appointment? Even if it's with a friend, to go out to coffee, tell them how grateful you are for them, and ask for their help. You know, it's amazing how many people want to help you when you ask for it. So I'd love to hear some ahas, though. What did you learn? What will you implement?
Dianna, thank you for today. I think one of the things, and it seems so simple and easy, but I'm speaking for me, I know I get away from it, but those 5 items of gratitude, how important that is for us to start our day with that. And I know that when I do that, I certainly behave and act and feel a different way. And yet I continue to forget to do it. So I appreciate you reminding me to go back to that.
Yeah, it is a habit that we can fall out of real easy, that's for sure. You all look great. I know you're doing a lot of stuff, taking notes. Text 5 people today a gratitude. Tell them that you're grateful for them and see how much better you feel. And when you feel great, you go on appointments in a different, confident, a different energy. And at least read the chapter on energy. You can get it for free on our resource, becomingmorebook.com. And just at least read that. And hey, sign up for Tuesday calls. Dianna, DIANNA K, just the letter K.com. DiannaK.com. Come on Tuesday. They're free, and there's agents all over America. And last week it was more masterminding about what's the difference between a buyer today than 50 years ago. And it was a great mastermind. And we got to hear from agents all over what they were finding. And we came up with solutions. So if you want to be part of that, we invite you. Once again, it's with Tony and I. It's free. Love you all. See you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tara had to run to an appointment to welcome someone back to Keller Williams. So thank you so much, Dianna. We appreciate your time and all of your energy.